Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kryptonized. Joining me today is Justin Draplin of Eclipse Cottages, and we're going to talk about securitization of real estate. But before we do, let me turn it over to Justin real quick. And Justin, will you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Justin Draplin. I'm an entrepreneur by trade. I'm currently working on Eclipse Cottages, and specifically, we're working on a project within that to tokenize our cottages and allow other people to do the same thing with their cottages or homes.
Okay, and why? What's the point of it? Why are you trying to do that?
I guess a lot of reasons. So we view the tokenization of real estate is kind of a key, much pun intended. So if you're going to do unlock all of this stuff within cryptocurrency that has to do with real estate, I think it starts with actually tokenizing that real estate. And so there's the aspect of controlling your data, um, and all the data that has to go with your home, whether that's your purchase price, your mortgage, your insurance, your repairs that you've had on the home, or anything like that. We view it as kind of the entry point is to actually get it so you actually have your place tokenized, and then you can build off of that, right? And you can build all of this information or tools within that. So, even to the point of we're doing these rental communities and stuff where that token can be the unlock your home, right? So you pull that up on your phone, and that's your key to actually get into the home. Or I mean, there's just so many facets of the information that's gathered regarding real estate, and it's just an extremely inefficient market. I wrote mortgages for a little while. I know how complex and what a nightmare those are, and they've only gotten worse. Nobody's making that process any easier. It's only getting more and more complicated, more and more difficult to do. So we just see a huge opportunity there to make people's lives simpler.
All right, excellent. Now, is this token, does it represent ownership? It's like one token, one cottage. What is how does that work?
So we're working on a roadmap. But yeah, we're looking at starting it with one token, one cottage. Now you can subdivide that, right? So you can eventually do it as like a timeshare, right? So you have that one token, and we can actually divide that up and actually use that token and subdivide that token to do it like a timeshare, or an Airbnb rental community where we're going to use that token to basically register your rental unit on the platform, and then all the data goes through that tokenization, and all the payments and stuff get processed all through that the platform blockchain platform that we're building around.
Okay, so can you sell the actual cottage just by transferring the token to someone else? Will it be that easy, or is it much more complicated than that?
We'll say one day, right? I know
Right.
that there are companies working on it, and they're kind of jumping right into that, right? They're jumping right into, transfer ownership via the token. Kind of the way that, again, it's going to be a longer roadmap. But at some point, yes, we definitely view that as on the map, if you will. Um, it'll probably start as more of like a timeshare kind of scenario where your token acts as your membership interest to that block of time within the within your home. So if we take that token and we subdivide it into 52, then each token is worth that week, right? Where you own that time as more of a membership type of interest in that
Got it.
unit. But then obviously the next step after that would be, well, just straight big, precise ownership of it. I just think that there's a lot of work within the industry to do to make that feasible. I know the technology can do it, but you not only need the technology to do it, but you need to kind of have people ready to be willing to do it, right?
Yeah.
And we view it kind of like Amazon started with just selling books, right? Did they have this big plan to do all this other stuff? Yeah, but we're not ready for it, right? The people that are familiar with crypto might be ready for it, but it's such a small sliver of people that the masses aren't ready for it, which means all of the expense and development time and cost to do that, there wouldn't be a return because you don't have any economies of scale as far as interest in that part of it yet. So kind of our first groundwork is like to really expand the interest in the project first. Get buy-in to people say, well, what does this mean, right? Well, just create a token for your home, right? Doesn't cost you but $5, and you'll be digital. You'll get your wallet, and like it'll be kind of your gateway to blockchain and crypto and all that kind of stuff with very minimal risk, right? And then from there, we can continue to add on and continue to add um, functionality, utility to that, right? When it comes to all of these other ancillary things regarding the home.
Yeah, I mean the challenge I see in what Amazon figured out pretty early on is they just were the experts in selling books online. And they did that. And once they got there, then they started adding new things to that. And
Mhm.
I think somebody that really wants to be serious in the space will do the same thing. They say, okay, we're going to tokenize time sharing, and we're going to become the experts, and we're going to get all the partners around us to support it, and then once we have that in place, then we can expand on that to other projects. And then from there, we go into maybe the sale of homes that way, which I find extremely
Exactly.
challenging because all these entities have to be notified, including the state government and title companies and insurance companies, that all this stuff was happening. Once a sale of a property is made, there's all sorts of things that need to happen in regards to that, including disclosures. So that's very challenging. If somebody's taking that on, I'd be impressed. But what you're trying to do, it seems like would be an easier thing to do, which is just to tokenize aspects of the home or specifically the timeshare rental. Like you could trade your token to someone else and that trades time, or you could sell your token to somebody else and you make money off that time that you're not using. And if you did it in an easy way, that would be, I think, a boon to the industry. And just starting there, I think, would be a big win.
Yeah, and that's kind of our thought, right? What's the easiest way to get mass adoption? We're not going to make any money on the mass adoption, but we're trying to build those eyeballs. Amazon didn't make a ton of money on books. In fact, they lost a ton of money on books. But Amazon, that whole A to Z smile, right? From the get-go, their plan wasn't just books, but they knew from a business model perspective they needed to start with something that could scale quickly. Where books, there's not a lot of returns. You know what you're getting with the book. You know exactly what it is. And that's the same thing. Like if you're getting into NFTs, which I hate that word because I feel like it's got such a negative connotation now. But if you're getting into that, you want like no risk, right? So if we go into this trying to convince people to place the ownership of their single biggest asset and trust it to this new technology called blockchain technology and don't worry about it, it's like
Right.
probably not going to
Yeah.
happen. But if all we're saying is it's more or less going to start as just superficial, and you can kind of upgrade that over time as you get used to this technology and as we roll out more features. It starts with that easy comfort level of you're not it's not costing you anything, right? It's just an experience, and then we can start building off of that.
I almost think talking about blockchain and all that, that's probably a distraction to most people. It should just operate behind the scenes while it's just being done in an easy manner. That to me would be the way forward, where you don't even talk about it, except for insiders that have to understand how this all works. Just like when people talk about APIs and integrating databases with one another. I don't know what these people are doing behind the scenes. I don't want to know. I just want to know that it works. So I know we like to get in the weeds here in crypto, and I'm kind of that way because I just like to know how things work. But I just think to the average person using this, trading their timeshare token or buying a timeshare token, we're just like, we're not going to tell you how it works. It just works, and trust us. And you get enough transactions where you build that trust amongst the population, and we'll be fine.
That's our hope.
Oh, it's going to happen. It's definitely in the future, but a lot of things need to happen. I remember the early .com days. Half the
Hmm.
people were calling for the demise of the internet because it wasn't secure and you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. But the innovation of people is unbelievable, and there will be people that simplify these things, make it easier. A lot of it's going to be trial and error, but it's going to happen. It's inevitable. There's no way what I say fiat or traditional systems are going to be able to compete with something like this that's immutable, and it can be tracked and and sent digitally anywhere around the world. It's just a far superior system. We just need to get the infrastructure around it to be
Yeah,
easier and more efficient.
and get the scammers and hype hype people out of the way.
Well, I mean, there's I'm big on security tokens. There's ways around that too. I mean, you'll never cut out all the scammers. They're still in the stock market. We're being scammed every day by these big institutional investors. I've heard it all, and they're just not being investigated like some of these crypto people are. I think crypto's far worse because there is no regulation, and it's the wild, wild west. And unfortunately, because we didn't self-monitor, now you've got regulators with an excuse to jump in, and the Gary Genslers of the world to say, "Yep, you're breaking the law. We're going to fine you. We're going to take you to court, and good luck fighting the SEC in court. They've got unlimited resources, and you have a crypto token. You have to keep selling into oblivion in order to pay for your legal team." So the shotgun's being held on most of these companies unless they start to get with the program. This is the Gary Gensler program, not my program, and registering these types of securities. Yeah,
I mean, I think for a couple of years now, there's been this chorus of people within the industry that are like, well, some regulation is good. It's going to add credibility to the industry. It's going to add trust to the industry. Um, to your point, there's always going to be people trying to, make a quick buck on not working, or not doing
yeah,
something legitimately. That's going to be there. That's my biggest worry about even getting into cryptocurrency is having to tell people I'm in cryptocurrency, right? Just because it's got such a bad rap of over the last year. This crash is just, from the general public, the perception has just gotten so soured. Eventually crypto will dig its way out, because it does have real life value. It's not just digital money, right? It's like just so much more than that. But people got so focused on that, on that aspect of crypto, right? It's just digital money, digital money. Look, we're just printing money and trading money, and it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. Everybody's going to be a billionaire. It's like,
yeah. It
what?
doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So, in terms of what you're doing, though, is there anything else that you're thinking about doing that's kind of innovative, or are you just trying to keep it simple, like Amazon, build a book business, in your case, a timeshare business, or whatever you're doing with the homes,
Yeah.
and then expand from there based on the opportunities that you see?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a full-fledged real estate play. It's definitely not just rentals or timeshares or anything like that. From like I said, you got mortgage and insurance and stuff like that, where you've got your data is out there being sold left and right, to people to market to you. And to me, like, I don't necessarily want every bank having my personal information, knowing what my balance is on my mortgage, knowing what I'm paying for insurance, so they can send me a mailer that says, "Hey, we can reduce your insurance by $50," because they know what I'm paying.
Right.
There's a way. I believe we can get to the point where the home token is kind of that gate key, the skeleton key of you will, if you will, to that industry, where this data can be kept secure within that. And then you can choose if you want to share the information. You can choose, all right, I'm going to go shopping for a mortgage. I'm going to kind of open up this piece of my token and share that information specifically with these mortgage companies so they can quickly give me a quote. Right. So that's the kind of stuff that I think gets really interesting when you can put that all in a on a blockchain technology, control the gates, and then just kind of open the gates as you see fit to your benefit to release that information to people, instead of them being able to just pay Google to get that information or pay the credit reporting bureaus to get that information, or whatever. You share that information as you see fit, not as all the tracking bots want to share your information.
All right, very well said. With that, how do people get a hold of you or check out Eclipse Cottages?
Yeah, so please don't get a hold of me. I'm just too busy. But you can go to eclipsecottages.com, is our website. We are on social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that kind of stuff. Just do a search for us, you can find it. And through that, you can get a hold of me if you need to. I'm happy to answer questions or pursue partnership opportunities or anything like that. But start with the website.
All right. Thank you, Justin. Really appreciate you being on the show.
All right, thank you.
I'm bringing you my latest recommendation, and that is Tetragard. Tetragard is a basket of tokens, like an ETF almost, that's got Bitcoin, Ethereum, PaxG, and a fee token called Quadrant. All wrapped up. You buy it in one spot using Ethereum. The link to buy is right here. And by holding this basket of tokens called Tetragard, you get paid rewards just to hold the top tokens in the world. You can't go wrong. You'd be crazy to buy these tokens separately and not get anything for them when you can just do it all at once in one spot and get paid rewards as long as you hold that basket of tokens. Again, Tetragard, you won't go wrong.